Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Zom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. How we doing, man? Today is July 29th, 2024. This is episode 184. What's cracking? How we doing, man? What's going down? It's actually a nice day on the East Coast. It wasn't too hot today. It was actually fantastic. We've been actually insane with the heat, man. Like actually fucking insane. But yeah, I hope we had a good week. Hope everybody's chilling. Hope we're doing Gucci. So yeah, we got a stack of content to go over, some weekly recap stuff. We're gonna go over some like mid-year recap stuff, and then we'll dive into some reactions and reviews. So let's fucking get it. I hate Wolf. What's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy Monday, my friend. Let's get into it. So, let's start off with some weekly recap stuff, and then we can get into some other jazz. So, things you missed over the last week or so that happened at Music Mondays. Of course, we kicked off Monday with our usual basic logo T-shirt availability. So those are still available. If you'd like to purchase one, we still have smalls, mediums, and larges available. So just contact us directly if that's something that you're interested in, because we're trying to get the rest of those off before the end of the year. Actually, still have to ship a few out this week. So a couple of things there that we'll be talking about for sure. You'll definitely see some more promo go up for that. But that's live as usual. Music Mondays early access Patreon content is also available. That drops every Tuesday if you missed the live show. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons. Everybody over there is doing fucking fantastic, so you guys are amazing. But we rolled into Tuesday with some early access Patreon content, and of course, submissions open for the next week's show. Let's see, and then we rolled into Wednesday with May 2024 Patreon appreciation. That is also live on all socials. Just a little shout out and some love to all of our current Patrons and the ones through May and June. You guys are awesome. The June and July ones will be going up this week, realistically. We'll probably throw the July one up next month, and then the June one will go out this probably this week, to be honest with you. But the May 2024 Patreon appreciation is available on all socials right now, so definitely go check that out and go show all of our Patreons some love. They are fucking amazing. Let's see here. So we rolled into Thursday with the usual. Episode 183 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all audio platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. It's available on YouTube as well, but the audio versions drop every single Thursday. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Again, if you missed the live show. Let's see here. So we kept rolling into Thursday with a brand new YouTube upload, actually. This is actually one of my favorite uploads in quite some time. Last week we spoke a bit about short form content, and does short form content matter? Wow. That was quite the conversation, man. And if you missed that segment from that is available on our YouTube channel right now. That is a W fucking upload, and I think it's a really, really interesting conversation. Sure. But again, definitely go check that out. Go show that some love as well. And huge shout out to everybody who's been showing love to the YouTube side of things, man. We're gonna be diving into a lot more interesting topics on YouTube as well. Stuff outside of the stream, some kind of other short form stuff. So there's a couple ideas rolling around. But huge shout out to everybody that shows us love to the YouTube side of things. Awesome. Thank you. And again, we're like 8 subs away from 290. We're like super close to 300. So if you're not subbed to the channel, definitely go check out the channel and show love if you want. We upload 3 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Again, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazzes over there. So definitely go check that out and go show some love for sure. So Thursday's usually pretty stacked. But we rolled into Friday with a decent stack, to be honest with you. So we sip this coffee. We'll talk about Friday. So Friday we rolled in with brand new article on the Music Money's homepage by none other than the homie, I don't know, Young Jay. Huge shout out to Jay. That is a fantastic think piece on rap and capitalism. Definitely a short read, not like super long or anything like that, but I think he breaks down a lot of the finer points really well. So again, huge shout out to Jay. We kicked off Friday with a fantastic piece for sure. And then we ended off with the Music Mondays radar check, number 9 actually. So if you're not familiar with the Music Mondays radar check, that's something we put out every single month, where you have the opportunity to tag a mutual, tag your friends, tag the homies, anybody you think that deserves a spot on the Music Mondays website, or you think we should interview them, or you think that we should do content with them, or really just a chance to show off who you think we should be looking at. So Music Mondays radar check number 9 is available right now. So go check that out and go show that some love. So that was Friday. We had a fantastic Friday. We actually had a fantastic week of content, to be honest with you. The whole week was just really solid. Like, really fucking solid. So, we kicked off Saturday with episode 183, the Music Mondays podcast, going live on YouTube again. If you missed the live show, you can find the audio versions every Thursday, and you can find the YouTube upload every Saturday. So again, episode 183 is available right now. Go show that some love, and huge shout out to everybody that submitted, tuned in, and showed the show love. You guys are awesome. But we tried to spread the show out as far as where we drop it and how we drop it, right? I mean, it's been the same for quite a while, but again, just keep that in mind. The YouTube version will always be available every Saturday, and the audio versions will be available every Thursday, per usual. And of course, the Patrons have access to the complete VOD to download, and if they want to use for promo and things like that. So, huge shout out to everybody over on Patreon as well. Awesome. Read a relatively quick Saturday, and then Sunday we dropped SoundCloud Sunday volume 145. Wow, 5 more volumes, men. Like 5 more volumes, and we're really hitting that 150 milestone. 200 of SoundCloud Sunday is going to be pretty crazy, but 150 is still nuts. But volume 145 of the SoundCloud Sunday playlist is available right now on our SoundCloud. That was curated by me and the homie Avanko of the Music Mondays staff curation team. Definitely a really stacked list. You know, it's funny, man, like some weeks there's just so much music to pick from, and then other weeks there's like like barely 20 songs. You know what I mean? So like it's a very how do you say it's very up and down, right? And it always varies, always varies. But SoundCloud Sunday is like a staple to Music Mondays, so we always make sure we get it done. But volume 145 is available right now on our SoundCloud, so definitely go check that out and go show that some love right now. And that takes us into today, Monday, July 29th, 2024. Music Mondays episode 184. How we doing, man? So we have a couple more drops to kind of get out before July is over. Obviously the first is like Thursday, I think. Let me check the calendar. I'm pretty sure August 1st is Thursday, yeah, so because the second is Friday. So, when it comes down to that, man, we're going to talk about that, though. We have a stack of stuff that we got to get out before July is over, but also we have a couple things that we really need to hunker down on when it comes to our bigger events. So, we're going to talk about that. But, that was your weekly recap. That's pretty much everything you missed over the last week or so, and everything that happened at Music Mondays. So we're live, we're here, we're chilling. So what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to do a little bit of like a mid-year recap, kind of talk about everything up until July of this year, like where we're headed and things like that. Then we'll dive into some reactions and reviews, per usual. Let's get it. We're talking recruiting and all that shit too. So, let's get into it. What's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so? Per usual, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for all of our staff roles. We are on the hunt for journalists, writers, curators, designers, content creators, anybody who wants to do short form or long form content for YouTube specifically. We're on the hunt. We are looking for you. So if any of those roles kind of interest you, send us a message. We'd be happy to have that conversation with you. Send us an email, send me a message, anything like that. If you'd like any more detailed um, kind of explanations on Music Monday's staff roles, we have a wonderful guide on our YouTube channel where I did that. I think earlier in the year, where I break down all the Music Monday staff roles, kind of what everything consists of. What do you do if you're a writer? X, Y, or Z, things like that. You know what curating kind of consists of, and all that good stuff. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. But again, send us a message if that's something that interests you, because we are recruiting. We're looking to fill a few more staff roles. Nothing like super crazy. I think we need probably like 3 or 4 staff members. So again, if that's something that interests you, definitely let us know for sure. So yeah, now that we talked about recruiting, let's talk about SoundCloud and YouTube exclusives. So we are on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives. If that's something that interests you and you like to have an track hosted and promoted for free on the Music Monday SoundCloud and across all of our socials, let us know. We are only interested in unreleased tracks, of course. And of course, like if you'd like to go, release a track on all platforms, or kind of do whatever you want to do with the track after, that's fine. But we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. So again, if you have anything that's unreleased that you'd like to have hosted and promoted on the Music Mondays SoundCloud and across all of our socials for free, let us know. Let's have that conversation as well. Hit my DM, hit Music Mondays, send us an email, because again, we are open to conversation. Especially now. We definitely want to get back on that for sure. And of course, same goes for YouTube as well. We are on the hunt for lyric videos, visuals. Even if you just want your audio hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel of almost 300 subscribers and hosted and promoted for free, let us know, because we are interested in that as well. So that's something that I always make note of every show. But again, that'll be something we hammer down on as the summer kind of continues to ramp up, right? Because we still have August. September's even gonna get crazier. So a couple things on the plate, but we are looking to add to those libraries. Not only as a way to promote you guys, right, but as a way to give our supporters over on SoundCloud and YouTube a different flavor of content, right, and obviously just to hold up the archive, right. I think it's a great way to archive lots of really great music. So if that's something that interests you, let us know, because that would be fantastic, and we are open to that conversation, of course. So, we talked recruiting, we talked exclusives, what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the week. So, like I said, this is a big, not catch-up week, but there's a couple of July pieces that we have ready that we haven't put out yet. A couple playlist updates, a couple of smaller things that we just haven't put out for July. So this will be a big rollout week for us. So we're going to talk about that here for 1 second. So the next week is definitely going to be stacked. So per usual, again, I think the big focus in the background of Music Mondays is Cyberfest 2, our second online URL festival. I've been playing around with a couple of artists that I'm going to talk ideas with, and a couple of other potential sponsors, and a few other things that I want to get together before we obviously get the community involved, right? Because Cyberfest will definitely be just as good as the last time, right? And that's kind of something that we've been planning out in the background as far as like bigger events. Merch is always going to be a thing, but that'll be something you see a lot more promo for as we head into August too. So Cyberfest is like the big background idea, and the big well, not really idea now, but the big background project, I should say, for myself and a lot of the staff, right? So that's something that we're hyper focusing on. Really, first step is kind of finalizing who's down and who's not down. So there'll be a couple of people that I get in contact with. Staff are gonna get a couple of people's messages down and see who's not down. So you'll see some things kind of roll out as we go into August, because we had a couple of rough dates, but I think we kind of want to use August as a big promotion month. So once we have like a flyer ready, and I think that'll be a lot easier. So, well, not easier, but a lot more clear for us, right? Because again, I don't want to just start talking about this and everybody going crazy, because that's not how we do things Mondays. You guys know that. So I want to make sure the event is semi good, right? Or like it's gotta at least live up to the last one. So that's kind of like the big thing. As it comes for the rest of the week, though, so kind of heading into August, your weekly content will continue and stay the same, right? Of course, submissions open tomorrow. SoundCloud Sunday, submissions open Wednesday, new video Thursday, new article Friday. All that stuff will stay the same. But we do have a couple of updates coming like really fast. So when it comes to playlist updates, you'll see a new version of the monthly. You'll see a new version of Across the Pond. You'll see a new version of Underground Classics. So a lot of those SoundCloud playlists will be getting updates for July, and of course fresh for August as well. So that'll be in addition to everything else that you see normally. And then really hunkering down on Cyberfest and getting that all sorted as well. Because we just had to introduce a new staff member, get them settled. So there's a couple things that we had to attend to immediately, right? Because sometimes you never really know when you're going to add somebody to the staff. So it can kind of be a bit of a process to get them settled into like the wheel of things. But now that we are settled, I think we can continue with a lot of our summer projects. So again, big things, Cyberfest, Music Mondays merch, and then heading into the pretty much end of summer, middle of summer. We'll kind of be hunkering down on a few things, but Cyberfest is like the main one for sure. And of course, like I said, your weekly stuff will stay the same, so you can expect the usual here at Music Mondays. That'll never change, right? But once we get more things in detail settled for Cyberfest, I think that'll be like way better, and I can talk about it more here on the show with not so many things kind of up in the air, right? So exciting times ahead, my friends. But that's what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. Big July kind of wrap up, tying up some loose ends, playlist updates. I'm gonna get a couple new drops out. I think we have an exclusive dropping on our SoundCloud relatively soon as well. A couple things I gotta get organized, so we're just wrapping up July here for the next like 2 or 3 days, and then you'll see the usual kind of come out. Then by the time we're on episode 185, I should be able to get a little bit more details to everybody as far as like what's going down with Cyberfest and things like that. So once I get that settled, you guys will be to know. But like I said, that's what's coming up in Music Mondays over the course of the next week. Let's talk. We had one more thing that we were going to talk about. Oh yeah, kind of like a mid-year recap. So yeah, we didn't really talk about the crazy year that Music Mondays had over the course of the last 7 months. I mean, we kicked off 2024 with a great rebrand, right? I would say like January through like April was a really great time for us. Like that whole like quarter one aspect was like really cool for us. So that's what I want to talk about. So kind of the bigger things that we started off with was the logo change. I think the logo change and that kind of rollout was super, super fucking cool. For a few reasons. But along with the logo change, we kind of had like a big aesthetic change, right? We had a new podcast flyer. We had so many other new things that was like combined in that whole like package rollout, right? So we had a really solid start to 2024, definitely. But following that, I would say that was probably like a big deal when it came to like January through like March. And then April, May, and June was getting a lot of staff kind of settled in, a lot of staff transitioned out while getting our second album together, right? So Curing Cases of the Mondays. That process was like a 2-month process in itself, right? Getting singles together, getting people, actually on board, getting cover art settled, etc., etc., etc. So I would say that April through like June era was like really busy for definitely, especially when it comes to like staff and the roster. And then, heading into July, like the big thing, like I just said, is Cyberfest 2. I mean, Cyberfest 2 is going to be the majority of our time. That's definitely going to be something that we're like heavily focused on, like I said. But once the event even actually takes place, you want to talk about uploading sets, you want to talk about articles, following the show. Like, there's going to be a lot of things when it comes to Cyberfest 2. So that'll be like the big thing I anticipate for like July, August, and September. That's definitely going to be like one huge one that we super focus on here. And then of course I want to start like upgrading pretty much everything else, right? So the Patreon update, that's been something I've been planning on for quite some time, and I've actually had ready for quite some time. And then a couple of YouTube updates for sure, and then the site definitely needs like not a major overhaul, but I would say the website definitely needs a little bit of an update there for sure. So there's a few things that I definitely think um, we can really focus on in the background as well. So that June, July, August, summer block is going to be a lot of tying up loose ends, a lot of freshening up, and Cyberfest. And then when it comes to September or October, November, December, that's also kind of like a crazy time too, right? I mean, there's a couple of things that I had ideas for, but it's still a little bit far out for us to kind of plot some stuff out. But there's a couple of cool things that we could do. I was thinking like something like a Halloween project, or maybe even like a Christmas project. Like there's a couple of like really cool things that we could do. And then of course like a lot of like major additions, right? Like the Spotify playlist has been an idea for quite some time for us. um we definitely want to finalize the staff team and actually get like a full staff. There's so many like smaller things that we want to cap off before we head into next year. But I would say the mid-year recap is actually really solid. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this year was in improvements, but it was also making sure we stayed consistent while improving, right? Because a lot of people and a lot of platforms kind of like suffer in one area while they're trying to improve something else. Nothing really suffered in Music Mondays as we kind of upgraded, right? And that's like not really like the vision I had for it. I didn't really want it to like I didn't want to take losses on certain ends just to do something else. I would rather take something away and keep all the bigger pieces at play. So, there's a very specific way that I like to go about it, so while improving the platform, I want to stay where we're at as well, you know what I mean? So like I don't think we have any excuse to not output um our current rate of content, but also even double up on it, you know what I mean? Like 2 articles a week is eventually the goal, and then like upgrading the website and things like that. So, but also while maintaining our current schedule, shows live every Monday, etc., etc., etc. So I really think things like that are like super, super important. Um, and kind of is like one of our keys to success, I guess, is like really like making sure that we stay on top of shit, not let other areas suffer, just because like of X, Y, or Z. I definitely don't think that that's like a smart move, like whatsoever. So, um, let's talk. So that's pretty much like a big mid-year recap kind of deal for sure. Um, but what's to come in the rest of the summer, and I would say like I said, like July, August, September, it's going to be mainly wrapping things up and Cyberfest 2 stuff, 100%. But there's a big year for Music Mondays in terms of growth as well. So we've had a really solid, 6 months or so. So I'm definitely excited for the next 6. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. So that'll definitely be uploaded on the channel. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoy the channel's content, man, you're fucking awesome. And we're on the road to 290. We're on the road to 300 actually. So again, make sure you go show this video, the channel, and all that good jazz some love. And 2 videos every week, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz is available on the channel. So go show these artists in the channel some fucking love, baby. Let's get it. All right, man. Let's see here. So I think now we have time to get into some reactions and reviews. So that's what we're gonna do. hop into it. Let's talk. Right. Most of you guys know the drill, but if you don't know the drill, we are gonna talk about it. So let me pull this up over here. Let me get a little bit of this. And get a little bit of that. All right. Pull the submission tweet up. Let's talk how to submit and all that good stuff. Most of you guys do know the drill, but again, some people are new. They don't know how Music Mondays kind of operates. So we're gonna talk about. All right, bam. Let's get into it. So many of you guys know the drill, but if you don't, tweets will be in the same format every single week. They'll always read. Artists and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on July 29th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/SonalPlays, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've pretty much reacted to everything here on the show. Everything from obviously vocals, instrumentals, graphic art, photography, videography, music videos, lyric videos, YouTube edits, shorts, merch, fashion, you name it, we've reacted to it here on the show. So feel free to submit anything you'd like if you feel like you deserve some spotlight on Music Mondays. You want to show the community what you have to offer, definitely let us know. Drop your links and drop pretty much everything you're comfortable with, man, because we're always down for it. We are very welcoming to every single underground creator, so feel free to drop whatever. Let's see here. So, outside of that, for our show limits, many of you know that we used to do a lot of longer shows in 2022 and 2023, and it just wasn't as efficient to watch back, right? I think going to watch back like a 6-7 hour show is a bit tedious and very long. So now we kind of shortened up the show's length and we limited it to about 4 hours because we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch on Mondays. So just to keep the show consistent and kind of take a little bit of pressure off the staff, we did limit it to 4 hours. And just, you know, the watchability is much more um accessible, right? Because this is something you just throw it in the background, maybe go on a car ride, blah 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 blah. But also at the same time, it's like one of those things as to where like even like a 4 hour show, you could argue is like a little bit long to watch back. But it's definitely not a 6-7 hour show, which is always like really fucking long, you know. I don't even know how he did that back in the day. Yeah, I say back in the day, it was only like 2 years ago. But some of those shows were crazy. But yeah, 4 hour show limit, you guys know that. Submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free here at Music Mondays. The only thing that we do ask is that you're following the Music Mondays podcast on Twitter before you submit, not only to help spread our message and grow our community, but you pay respect to all these wonderful people that do follow Music Mondays and wait for their submissions to be played every single week. And of course, you gain access to a wonderful community of creatives. So, kind of a win-win. Outside of that, Patreon subscriber submissions are played first every single week, so you guys know that. If you are subscribed to any tier of the Music Mondays Patreon, you have access to a bunch of goodies, but one of those goodies is a Music Mondays Fast Pass, which for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon, allows you to have your submissions played first every single week here on the show. So say you pledge to the Music Mondays Patreon tonight for the next 4 weeks, and for technically the next 4 Mondays, you'd have your submissions played first here on the show, right? So when it comes down to when people watch the VOD back, you're technically the first song that everybody sees. When people are watching the live show, you're usually at peak viewership, right? So if you're kind of one of the first songs, also great. So just kind of gives you a little bit of a guarantee that your song is always played. Because again, we do have a 4 hour show limit, so sometimes some songs aren't always played, right? So that's one thing you got to keep in mind. But outside of that, huge shout out to our Music Mondays Patreons. You guys are fucking amazing. One other thing that we do always mention is that submissions do close. Usually a couple hours before the show starts. Not like anything crazy, but you have about 7 days to submit to the show. So a good rule of thumb is that if the show is live, submissions are closed. So again, just keep that in mind. Just because we are a free flow kind of live show, so we like to get a head count and make sure nobody's kind of messing up the order and things like that, right? So again, you have like a good 7 days to submit. So Plenty of time to even like make a song from scratch and like still get it in. Um, Outside of that, I don't think there's anything major, but we do have a full comprehensive guide on our YouTube channel where I kind of break down the logic of why we take submissions on Twitter, why we do what we do, etc., etc., etc. And of course, make sure you sub to the channel. I mean, we're like 8 subs away from 290. But outside of that, I think we are good to go. So you guys know the drill. Patreon's up first, and then we will go through the rest of the community top to bottom. I think we have one Patreon tonight. I think it's just the homie Jordan. We're definitely gonna kick it off with the homie Jordan. I am down. I am absolutely down. I just want to double check and make sure though. Yep, I think we are Gucci. And of course, if you're watching the live show, submissions open for next week. Tomorrow, if you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open. So make sure you check the date and go drop your track. Or any type of link, realistically. So yeah, we have one Patreon tonight. So we're gonna kick off with the homie Jordan, and then we're gonna go into the rest of the missions. So Jordan, wow, a very, very talented vocalist and producer, has been killing it this year. 7 months into the year, and Jordan has not only dropped an album, they've done shows, tons of collabs, lots of really great progress when it comes to the production side of things. This is an artist who's really worked their ass off this year. But they actually have a very interesting submission tonight. And I was actually very excited to check this one out. Deadlighters remix for a contest in Columbus. So Jordan's duo with Deadlighters actually came together for this. So this will be interesting. Villain origin story. So this is going to be crazy. Okay. So a little bit of a remix here. A little bit of a remix. Villain origin story remix and Raw Deadlighters and Mac TM. Oh man, yeah, this is gonna be actually cooked. Wait, alright, let's check this out. Let's get into it. Deadlighters remix, Villain origin story. Let's go. Tag is crazy. Tag's always been crazy.
Yeah, I'm cooking shit up, bitch, I feel like rock. Know I'm coming, you know I rock. Dropping the bag and I spin off the lot. I'm stacking the cheese and I'm letting it rock. No, I'm not new to this, nigga, I'm true to this. I got a cougar, bitch, Vivica Fox. I feel like juvenile, nigga, I'm hot. Far as I know, I don't got any ops. I be in traffic, ain't never got caught. Gang in the building, they choosing a lot. Niggas be hating, they losing a lot. All that internet shit, boy, you doing a lot. Everybody already know how I get. Won't even let till I walk in this bitch. You can't hang with us because you a loser. Young in this bitch, shut it down like computer. I'm on my body, I'm high off the shroomy. Shorty gon' let me fuck her in her room. These niggas is woozy. It ain't news to me, they snitching a lot. Niggas broke, they like they kick it a lot. My young and Jackie just like fixing a flat. Get your text and gotta know where you at. Spinning on me, nigga, won't make it back. I need a whole lot of weed to relax. Smoking on packages like Devin and Mac. I know niggas ain't really like that. You ain't catching nobody, ain't serving no packs. I know these niggas don't wanna see me win. That's why I had to go do it again.
Smoking on stock got me high like a plane. I been fucking your bitch, you repeating my name. Trapping too hard until I get rich. Living that hoe, you should buy you a brick. Ice on my neck and that shit below zero. I ain't saving that bitch, do I look like a hero? Got some guns in the
Okay.
car, so I look like a terrorist. Pockets they filled up with broccoli and asparagus. I wasn't doing enough, so I made the shit happen. Trying to get rich off of rapping and trapping. I'm wearing different designers, I'm shopping the same. Tried to run from the beef and got shot in the back. Your bitch on my dick cause I been lit. In the kitchen whipping up the work, just a bitch quick. Need big racks on a big bitch. Be on my dick cause my wrist late. Trying to hit hard like Christmas.
I'm cooking shit up, bitch, I feel like rock. Know I'm coming, you know I rock. I'm dropping the bag and I spin off the lot. I'm stacking the cheese and I'm letting it rock. No, I'm not new to this, nigga, I'm true to this. I got a cougar, bitch, Vivica Fox. I feel like juvenile, nigga, I'm hot. Far as I know, I don't got any ops. I be in traffic, ain't never got caught. Gang in the building, they choosing a lot. Niggas be hating, they losing a lot. All that internet shit, boy, you doing a lot. Everybody already know how I get. You don't even let till I walk in this bitch.
Really didn't mean to rhyme with this bitch. TM called me and proceeded to tell me that I gotta come and drop a bomb on this
this bitch like Obama shit. I'm on as a weapon, she calling a weapon. Bullets never missing 007. Stacking her paces like Jimmy Stack Casey. You see me as hey bro, I'm dipping the fakes. Ain't for the nasal, stacking the green, I'm in love with the basil. Blacking Othello. Blacking on core and I boil like a mellow. Really ain't wanna get started again. Motivation when I started the bins.
Wow. What a great way to like outro that. Like that outro was like so subtle, but like holy shit. Huh. Wow. Okay. So this is like one of those remixes where it's like it's like in contention to be like better than like a lot of other remixes and you know maybe even the original. I mean, you could make a case for a lot of parts about this. This is one of those ones that like going back to the caption, uh Deadlighter's remix for a contest in Columbus. So it's like, man, okay. Like it's like kind of like one of those accidental ones, but not really. Like obviously for any contest, you know, there's rules, you know, you got to do X, Y, or Z, blah blah blah. So like following a guideline while making any type of song is always very interesting. Always very interesting. So the fact that this was able to come out of that is very tippable. Very tippable. Um so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. You know, the production is actually something that we absolutely have to talk about here, especially with it being like kind of like a Deadlighter centered track. So, um we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track, which is a fucking WS cover. I mean, like photos like this is just like, come on, you know what I mean? Like these are forever gonna be cool. But let's talk instrumentals. So obviously, a Deadlighters remix. So we have two producers on here that have been such a great duo here on Music Mondays, right? We've heard original tracks, we've heard remixes, we've heard instrumental collaborations, we've heard a lot of stuff from Deadlighters. But this one, I feel like properly defines them and like what their sound is right now. I think that's something that's like very like you gotta understand that. Like it's a very like if you were to show somebody Deadlighters or even Jordan or anything like that or make more creative junk, I would say, you know, this is one of those that you could like just toss to somebody or throw it in a playlist of like 4 or 5 songs or something like that. Like this is one of those, you know, that really like represents like the current sound, you know, at least from like what we've heard here on the show. Right? And then like the progression too. So yeah, nah, like definitely. But let's talk mix. So the mix is great. I mean, you have a lot of vocals on this track, right? So the mix needed to be on point. You know, everything needed to be level here. There's a lot going on, a lot of heads here, and there's a lot of hands on this track. So it's like, okay, how are we gonna get this mix like really centered and at like a good level? And I think it is. Like to be honest with you, I definitely think it is, especially for like what the track is, right? And the style, it's kind of got like a little bit of like a alternative flavor, but the drums are more heavy. It's got a little bit of everything. So that's why, you know, the mix just had to be on point. And like I was actually watching my volume meter when that song was playing, and it was such an even mix that is actually impressive. I mean, like you could even see it in the waveform though. I mean, like look at the waveform. It's a relatively even waveform. You know, there's not like a lot going on. So that's how you knew like the mix is going to be solid. You know, it was really just going to be based on sound after that, and it was great. I mean, quality was great, levels were great, not too loud, not too crazy, nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing that really like stuck out to me instrumentally that was like off-putting, to be honest with you. Um, and I would agree that the instrumental does shine here. I mean, like it's almost like another feature on the track, you know. So um, mix is definitely right where it needs to be for sure. I mean, especially at this point, not really a shocker, right? Especially with somebody like Jordan, and Dead Lighters, it's just not really a shocker. But something I always want to point out for anybody new here. So instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. You know, I feel like the melodies here are really memorable, but so are the drums. But also the structure is like a really underrated aspect of this. I feel like if you didn't point it out, a lot of people wouldn't talk about the structure. Um, you know, you can make a solid case for any of these. I feel like everything is very like evenly placed. Like I don't think there's anything that like super stands out. I feel like it's all very consistent. Like a lot of the sounds complement each other. Like I said, like you could make a case for any of those, you know. But the melody is the first thing that keeps coming back to my mind. I feel like the melody would be something that you'd just like you'd remember if you were playing this off a playlist or your likes. You'd hear like 2 seconds of the melody and be like, all right, we're hitting that bitch. So probably the melody for me. But I mean, drums were just as good though. You know, sound selection was just as good. Like one of those remixes that like satisfies the ear in like every way and doesn't really go rogue, you know? Unless you're like trying to go rogue. I mean, if you're like going for like an EDM remix, like obviously it's going to be rogue, but like for like a regular like a true remix, yeah. Yeah, this definitely like hit the spot for me as far as like a first listen. So definitely melody for me. Absolutely. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. I mean, vocal mix was something I was like specifically listening to because I wanted to see if it was gonna like fall off at any point or if there was like you know any like transitional issues. But I thought everything was really solid. I mean, not really a shocker, but sometimes with a lot of these like remix like tracks or when there's just like a lot of people involved, sometimes um, the vocal mixes just sound weird sometimes, you know, especially with like how certain people like their vocals, right? But that's where all the leveling comes in, et cetera, et cetera. So when you want to talk about vocals on this track, it's actually great because I found everything to be really even. Everybody's voice kind of like transitioned smoothly. I didn't think anything was like off-putting or like out of place. Um, Thinking back on it, no like real gripes about the mix when it comes to vocals. Um, Especially with like how the styles kind of varied, right? You know, the styles styles of rapping, like there's a couple things that like varied, you know, from verse to verse. So, all in all, definitely no gripes. Definitely not with the vocal mix at all. Um, so vocal mix solid. Let's talk vocal shining star. What shined out of vocals the most? I mean, you got to go writing, but at the same time, like flow and cadence was something that was like very consistent throughout this whole track. You know, from verse to verse, new flows to enjoy, a new kind of like style to enjoy. Or, you know, writing's definitely up there too, though. I mean, mm, hmm. Writing was like very entertaining. That's the thing. Like the writing was like really entertaining. You know, like I feel like this was like one of those like competitive songs where like everybody just really tried to like kill their verse like unknowingly. Like, ah, mm, you know, it just might be writing. Writing, like I feel like writing is something that a lot of people would come back to this track for. To be honest with you, so let's go with writing. I really do feel like people would come back to this for the writing, just because the bars, the lyrics, some of the punchlines, like some of the smaller things were like really up to par here. So definitely writing, but I do feel like flow and cadence and delivery was very much a close second. But definitely writing, man, for sure. Okay, so vocals solid, instrumental solid. Let's talk theme. I mean, you know, this is one of the first things you notice, right? Obviously, is the cover, but I mean, I'm such like a sucker for these kind of covers because one, cool like actual IRL photo, but two, these performance kind of like pictures are like really fucking insane in the aspect that it's just like such a time capsule. Like sometimes you just like look back on it and you're like, okay, like that was a crazy ass fucking time. So it's cool to use in that aspect too, you know what I mean? And then of course like Dead Lighters, right? I mean, that is Dead Lighters, the duo, so it's like fuck. But aesthetics definitely a great choice, especially for like kind of like a more chill like remix kind of track, like not really like an official release or anything like that. Like I feel like this is like a really good safe choice. Um so aesthetics on point. Overall theme, you know, obviously with something like a remix or something that's like really just centered around the instrumental and like really showing off writing ability and lyrical ability, obviously there's no theme that you could really like dig up here. Like it's all natural like hip hop skill. Like kind of like I said earlier, like this felt like one of those tracks that like everybody just really just tried to kill their verse. Like really tried to just fucking outright themselves, like not even knowing so. So this is definitely one of those tracks that you want to go back to for just for like I said, the writing, definitely the delivery. You know, there's just a little bit of something in here for everybody. From verse to verse, and especially for just a remix, it's fun. Remixes are always fun, especially when they're done like this. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow Jordan on SoundCloud. They are 2 followers away from 80, so go show them some love. And of course, make sure you follow Jordan on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 480. We'll show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz is over there. So go show these artists in the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you, my friends. Let's fucking get it. Prod by Pez, what's good, homie? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy motherfucking Monday. Let's go. So, let's continue on. That was all of our Patreons for the night. So huge shout out to our Patreon crew, man. Huge shout out to Jordan, of course. Huge shout out to Blank Dot, Ryuki, Mark, Kruger, Dry My Eyes. All you guys are fucking amazing. Thank you. Even if you're just following the Music Mondays Patreon, you guys are awesome. So huge shout out to all of those fine individuals over there. Make sure you go show them some love. But we're going to go into the rest of our community submissions so you guys know the drill. We're going to go top to bottom. And then we will go down the list. So, let's get it. First of the night, the homie Sam's Raps. Now, they had an impressive fucking track last week. A very, very talented hip-hop artist, Sam's Raps, submitted Take the Shot. Now, this was such a standout track for me last week, so I am definitely excited to dive into this one, for sure. For obvious reasons. So, now this is off of their Triple Shot EP with 3 tracks, and I believe we reacted to Latte Art last week. So this week we're doing Take the Shot. Let's get into it. I'm down.
Yo, making my way to the top, till I fucking drop. Waited all day for the rock, so here's my fucking shot. Backing him down off the block like fake pivot and pop. Over your head like a hook shot, bitch, cause I'm book smart. They looking at me like good God. How he's so ruthless, toothless, who say is abusing the truth again. Hungry as shit like I'm living in Budapest. Seeing her body like she is the Eucharist. Driving her crazy, my hands are red to it. Juking the truest, that's saying that you the best. And it's crazy how you pretend, cause you just here to make a buck. Thought you could rig it up. You do better to bet on us. Playing my hand like I'm holding the ace of clubs. And I'm changing the game and I'm staying my lane till I'm playing a stadium. Or they basing a play on us. I'ma turn every stage to dust.
Wow.
No. All the shit never came so easy. But I work until looking like you can't fucking beat me. So now I put my foot down on the top against all fucking odds. Knew that I would from the start, but they did fucking not. I'm a bloodhound going northbound to your compound. Don't duck now. At any hour, I'm a month out from a new sound. How can you doubt? You shouting over whack beats with your chest out, but you're too proud. My crew touts the truest out with no clout, just loud mouths. We know that you're never gon' pop. All your shit flops, the fruits of your labor all rot. We grow big crops, we making our way to the top. Till our hearts stop, we waited all day for the rock, so let's take our fucking shot.
That was great. That very much felt like an anthem. You know what I mean? It really felt like one of those like anthem kind of feels. It's very interesting, very interesting. But one thing I did notice is the instrumental choice. Like, you know, Sam's instrumental choice is it's very interesting, man. Like, they have this certain flavor with like these like, they're not generic by any means. It just has this like very like unique kind of flavor. Like it has this like mix of like just like modern trap with like a little bit of like alt hip hop. Like their flavor of instrumental, especially with just this project in specific, I think is super fucking cool. So that's one thing I noticed is like their flavor and instrumental choices is like really top notch. Like really top notch. Um so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. We are going to talk about 3 things. You guys know the drill. We are going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme. Take the shot. Let's talk instrumental. I mean, like I said, the instrumental, man, like it's a great choice for 1, but for 2, it's one of those things where like, you know, you gotta have a vision if you're gonna pick an instrumental like this. Like, you really gotta have a vision. And, Sam's obviously does, right? So, choice, definitely solid. I just like their taste in instrumentals a lot. Overall mix, fantastic. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that really, like, stuck out to me that was off about the instrumental at all. I feel like the sound selection was good. 808s were good, structure was good. Nothing that really like stuck out to me. You know, it was very like on the head kind of mix. So instrumental mix very solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, I really might go with drums here. But like the structure too though, like the structure was just as good. Like drums are up there, but the structure was up there too, man. Hmm. You know, thinking back on it, probably the drums, to be honest with you. I feel like the sound selection was great. Everything complemented it. Patterns were great. 808s were great. Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be drums, man. Gotta be the drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great. I mean, we've reacted to probably like 2 or 3 Sam's Raps tracks by now. So we have a good idea on what their current vocal mix sounds like in present day, right? And it's relatively solid. Like they go for the very like um very kind of like firm and like clean hip hop style vocals, right? So not too much processing or anything like that. But it doesn't have like a proper amount of elbow grease and still has that like vibrance that vocals need. And this track is all the same, to be honest with you. Definitely a really solid mix. Nothing clashing to overbearing at all. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that really like ultimately threw me off when it comes down to the vocal mix, really, to be honest with you. Nothing that I would change, you know, especially within like the last 3 tracks. No way. Definitely not. So vocal mix definitely on point. Vocal Shining Star. Hmm. Vocal Shining Star. You know, I do like the writing. The flow and cadence was there too. The writing was very like specific though. I feel like Sam's like really like sat down and like had a writing session to write this. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have those sessions where like you're like writing like a fucking madman. Um yeah, to be honest, let's go with writing. I mean, I feel like it's a really redeemable part about this, but you know, you can make a case for flow and cadence and delivery. For me, it's a close second, but definitely writing for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I spoke a little bit about this cover last week, but I just love this coffee shop kind of feel, you know, or even looks like a coffee brand, like, you know, like you buy K cups or you buy ground coffee or anything like that. It has that coffee shop kind of feel to it. And then the Sam's text at the bottom, triple shot at the top, like, and then like triple shot with it having 3 songs on it, like, kind of like a really cool and like well packaged theme. And I spoke a little bit about this last week, but fantastic, fantastic. Simple but very effective, especially for an EP. You know what I mean? Um. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme of Take the Shot. Um. Kind of a more like attitude, you know, subliminal kind of like not really like braggadocious, but definitely has a bit of like a bite to it. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more specific, and I think when artists kind of like hone in on like certain topics and kind of like double down on the writing, and I feel like, you know, it's pretty easy to like continue writing something like once you start like 1 or 2 lines, you know, and you can just keep doubling down and like keep the snowball rolling, so to speak. And that's what I feel like Sam's does here. Um, you know, thus kind of having like the Take the Shot kind of feel to it, because it was ultimately just like a diss track, but it was very like well crafted in the aspect that this was like super well written. Because like I said, like this definitely feels like one of those songs that like you had like a writing sesh to. You know what I mean? Like you're just going through beats and then you're just writing. You're just like, wait a minute, this fucking bangs, and then you just started like this was probably one of those like you just caught fire kind of thing. You know, but again, a lot of the smaller aspects kind of relate to the overall project itself, right? I mean, Take the Shot, triple shot, like it's all packaged so well, but it's still so original. And like I feel like Sam's isn't really like going out of their way to like try to make this feel like X, Y, or Z. It's just really packaged well, mixed with their actual raw talent, right? And especially with this being like the first song on the project, I feel like this is a good lead into it. And then you would play Latte Art, and then of course Good Riddance. So Good Riddance being the only one that we haven't heard, but I mean so far the track list is like really up to par. Um, so again, that's definitely one of those songs that you want to take for the writing ability, the lyrical ability, and really just enjoy that aspect of it for sure. But with that said, huge shout out to Sam's Raps. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow Sam's Raps on Twitter. They are 6 followers away from 820. So go show them some love on the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is available on the channel. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love, my friends. See you guys dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz. You guys are awesome. So, we left off with the homie Sam's Raps. Up next, we have the homie Johnny Smoke. I don't believe we reacted to Johnny Smoke last week. It was, I think it was probably the week before. But a very unique vocalist, Johnny Smoke, submitted a track titled "Nuclear Love for Cherry." Insane title. It's actually fire. Let's see here. Let's get into it. Johnny Smoke and Nuclear Love for Charity. Okay. Just some spam in the comments. Alright, this song is 6 minutes. So this is about to be Rip. All right, let's get into it. Johnny Smoke, Nuclear Love for Charity.
Her run Ronio. Whoa, whoa. You just wanna push my button and make me a girl. Well, some things just can't be done, and some shouldn't be done. If you can't drink and drive, you shouldn't have a license. Whoa, yeah.
What?
I'll stand by that. Might you like to learn? Nuclear Zilla, Diamond Z's, Diamond O's, Diamond X's. But I'll hit them all with the la 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 until they come. Yeah, it ain't hard for me to sleep. Family booze rebate that I've got on my mind. Yeah, I must collect. Don't say no matter the cost. Whoa, whoa, that's a cool little trick you did. Whoa, whoa, there goes another one. You're, whoa, oh, whoa. Sure, I've done myself justice, and then nobody has some nerve, time and time again, to act like they have a trained ear. Yeah, it's this, that, and everything on his nerves. You want a world? Well, I've got one for you. It's .com in the mental after every bar. Or .what? .love. Woo! Nuclear love. Da-da-da. As in it's all they ever do is drop duds. My show is star-studded in the audience. Call the brothers into a huddle on a memorandum that I run. X Factor Enterprises Incorporated is mine that goes. We're the game changer. What can't we do? Tectonic records up and running, dropping only earth-moving records. Yeah, forced up the wall by the lack of respect. Nuclear love, whoa, love of nuclear variety, yeah. That I've got for her, that I'd lose for nothing. Nuclear love, yeah, it's nuclear love that I've got for her, that I'd lose for nothing. Nuclear love, yeah, it's nuclear love that I've got for a sound. Whoa, whoa, that I'd lose for nothing. It's nuclear love that I've got for a woman. Whoa, whoa, that's a cool little trick you did. Hey, bae, hey, boo, hey, smoke. Vice level 5 bush shootout. Mini clip getting Putin. Ball gorilla walk. Tanaka. Stance wide, forehand turnover. Defense wins championships. Whoa. No stogie. To only something. Anti-psycho like a Cuban cigar. An island hop in a tropical place. ... Ampersands. Whoa, whoa, that'll do the trick. It's nuclear love. Nothing like a springtime. Ha ha ha. Yeah, nothing like laughing in the summertime, the wintertime, or the fall. Oh, whoa. Whoa, whoa, la la la, la la. Nuclear love is all I've got for humanity. Nuclear love is all I have for charity. A Halloween character of what might they be wearing. The bars in the offline notepad, whoa. Screenshotting that we have a date on this stuff. Lil Go Bag, what a fella. On to keeping it a buck. Ah ha ha ha. The cart, whoa. A breakfast date bought and paid for. Of whom might that be? Whoa. Nothing too few and far between, like booze and moolah from the man. That'll do. Nuclear love. Nuclear love. Whoa, whoa. For that trick you do. Yeah. Here and here. There and there. That'll do. What I would say is the answers to trials kissed. The samples to yes. Ha ha ha. Nothing like a springtime. Was Big Ear Pac going to do the non-profit? Well, they could have been rolling memo on cassette tape. A hit is just something one can belly dance to. Family taking a hit for roaming fees to keep a data device up and rolling. Yeah, a cellular, digital, data device, a CDDD. One could know that as a seed. Of whom would I be to not post something? Small business internet speeds. But really I'm just trying to tell them we're lucky. Whoa, whoa. It's a cool little trick you did. I can't wait to go be an athlete. Ooh, yeah. Too tough with it. Oh man. Oh man. Catching a break. Well, it's gonna take you. New heights, new heights. Bailing out the technology king. Woke up, whoa. A nightmare. Son of terror. Nah, it's more to the woe. Let's learn something today. No human should be observing pain or distress. Is there something I couldn't sell? Maybe we're ahead of schedule on our endeavors. Maybe we're smarter than we think. Though maybe the destruction of 9/11, 2001, killed a momentous pursuit of happiness. It destroyed documents and connections. It destroyed lives. It's nuclear love that I've got for charity. It's nuclear love that I've got for the free world. Whoa, whoa. I'm sorry for the trauma.
Okay. That was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Much much to discuss here. Okay. So, much different than the usual Johnny Smoke approach, for sure. Much more detailed and very, well, very interesting, I will say. One redeeming factor about this is the instrumental choice. The instrumental is solid. A couple things we got to break down here for sure. So let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of the track. So, let's talk instrumental. So the choice is great. I mean, I've always been a fan of Johnny Smoke's instrumental flavor. They always have these like alt rock, kind of like smoother, alt hip hop kind of instrumental flavor, but this one has this like real laid back kind of feel to it as well. I like the choice. I definitely like the choice. Like they definitely had a vision here, 100%. Um, hmm. So let's talk mix. Mix is very solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Sound selection is great. Drum selection is great. Whoever produced this definitely did a really, really solid job. Melody solid. Nothing that I would really like ultimately change about the instrumental. Yeah, mix is definitely on point. Definitely. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, probably the drums. Like thinking back on it, I guess the drums I would have to say. I mean, the melody is definitely up there, you know, but quite possibly the drums. I feel like the drums are a huge, huge player here. Um, yeah, let's go drums for sure. Definitely drums. I feel like drums just kept coming back to me. Um, as far as like, you know, what kind of stood out, definitely the drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. This has always been a controversial mix here on the show. Just because I do feel like this effect like takes away from Johnny's like ability to do the style that they want to do, right? Because this is a longer track. So it's one of those things where you notice the vocal mix like a lot more. And when it comes to like this spoken word kind of style, you gotta have like a really solid mix. Otherwise, it just turns into something like not what you have in your head. You know what I mean? And even with Johnny's more regular tracks, like this style of vocal mix, I feel like is almost taking away from what their songs could be, right? So again, vocal mix is definitely something that I would take back to the lab and try to experiment with and find like a sweet spot. this kind of direction, like almost like again, like kind of hinders it. Like I could see a way different style if the vocal mix here was like slightly altered and improved and kind of like taken in a different direction. I think that's very important because again, like I've said in the past many times about Johnny Smoke's songs, they have the vision, they have the writing, they have like the idea, but when it comes down to how the vocals sound, it's off-putting. And the quality's there. It's not necessarily a matter of quality. It's more so the style of mix. So that's definitely something you want to take back to the drawing board for sure. But outside of that, I wouldn't even say the quality's bad. You know what I mean? So, the quality and the levels are up to par. It's more so on the effects and like how it actually sounds quality wise. Um, but yeah, I would say quality is definitely redeemable here for sure. So vocal mix definitely solid for what it is. Vocal shining star. Um, I mean the structure was definitely up there. I mean, it started off kind of hot, and then towards the end it had this like spoken word kind of style. So that's kind of where I feel like the structure throughout the whole song was definitely at least changing, right? Especially if you're gonna like um go for like anything over like 4 minutes, you gotta have some like switch ups here or there. You know what I mean? And I would say the structure's not bad at all, to be honest. So for me, definitely structure for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the structure. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. A very interesting choice. I believe Johnny switched it up here and started putting a parental advisory logo on um their covers. Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, so that is cropped on there. Okay. Okay. So, kind of a interesting addition to the cover that we've seen a few times when it comes to aesthetics. So at least parental advisory on there makes it a little bit more unique. But Johnny's funny with the covers, man. Super funny. So, aesthetics definitely new for sure. Overall theme, I mean, I wouldn't say that there's like a clear overall theme. I mean, there was a lot of bouncing around between topics. You know what I mean? And like ultimately I do feel like there was a message here that Johnny was trying to get out, but I feel like it definitely got lost in translation um throughout the track, right? Because there's definitely, like I said, like a lot of bouncing around topic wise. So it's very interesting. This is definitely one of those songs where I guess you'd really want to go back and like try to like dissect it and give it another run for its money. But very interesting topics here for sure. Especially for something going, as long as 6 minutes. So very interesting. But with that said, huge shout out to Johnny Smoke. Thank you so much for this submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Johnny on SoundCloud. They are approaching 1.1K on the cloud. And of course, make sure you follow Johnny on Twitter. They are approaching 1.4K on the Bird app. So make sure you go show them some love over there on Twitter. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Money's YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're literally approaching 300 men, but we're inching our way to 290. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Well, let's fucking get it. So, we left off with the homie Johnny Smoke. Up next is a first time submitting artist. Very interesting. By the name of Lucha Libro. And they submitted a track titled Carousel. DIY Lucha Pop. Okay. So we're about to get into some very interesting styles here, my friend. Alright, so first time submitting artist, you guys know the drill. We know nothing. So we are going to go in blind and take it for what it is. So it looks like they dropped a project. 5 songs on April of this year, so still pretty new. About 3 months ago. This is the first track off of it, actually. Wow. Okay. All right, I'm interested. Let's get into it. First time submitting artist Lucha Libro Carousel. Let's go.
sus páginas y a la forma de hacer tacar.
Okay.
Para que no veas tus colores favoritos. Si creo que toco, no he visto nada aún de amor. Me visto súper contento. Estoy pedo de rechazo y dolor y la lucha seguirá. Cojo todo el sonido, quemarla todas sus páginas. Que ya no hay forma de hacer tacar.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow. The harmonica though, like the guitar. I completely agree, Pez. I completely agree, man. That is a crazy first time submission for sure. For sure. Yep, we'll definitely get to that for sure. Yep. Sounds live as hell, which is awesome. Definitely. I agree. Um, so yeah, much to discuss here for a first time submitting artist, man. You know, I went in, did a little browsing of their profile, and it seems that this is a very new thing for them, right? I mean, they just started dropping music in 2024. This is all very, very new, and it's very impressive, right? Because obviously, like, their talent isn't new, right? Like, you just don't learn guitar and that kind of skill overnight, you know what I mean? So this is a very well seasoned artist that is just now kind of tapping into, you know, recording and things like that, because this is still very new and raw, you know. So a couple obvious things could make this like insane, but I don't think it takes anything away from it. Especially as to where like this is their first project, right? I mean, it's only dropped back in April, so they're trying to feel out themselves, you know what I mean, and kind of like learn the process, you know, much like the rest of us. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Um, we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of the track. So, um, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So again, it's a very like raw, much like Pez said in chat, like a live version, right? Like kind of like an acoustic, unplugged kind of feel, right? So that's what's really crazy about this, and like being so like early in like your musical journey, as far as like publishing music and recording music goes. Um, it's actually really impressive, like what this actually sounds like. It's like, wait a second, this is actually like the right path. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like the instrumental mix itself could always eventually improve, but for an artist that's so new to the whole process, like you totally got to give it props. You know what I mean? You totally got to give it props. Because this is something that can be improved on like just tenfold. You know, this is a very easy fix. So, the instrumental mix for where it's at, I mean, especially for this kind of track, it's solid. You know what I mean? Because this is something you can build off of, especially as like a newer artist. You know, so um, and again, nothing really clashing to overbearing at all either. You know, despite it being like recorded in that fashion, um, the harmonica was great, the vocals were great. Like nothing that really like you know was like that standoutish, right? Other than like the obvious things. So, instrumental mix definitely solid. Um, Instrumental shining star. I mean, got to be the guitar, right? I mean, like the melody's great. Um, no drums. It's still you know on paper it's very bare bones instrumental, but what it sounds like is way more fantastic. But I would definitely say the melody. Both of the melodies are great, but the guitar in specific is like super fucking solid. Um, so yeah, definitely the guitar for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, especially for like what it is, right? Um, let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, very interesting. It's very raw. This is an artist who's very early on in their journey, right? When it comes down to recording music, releasing music, and kind of um doing the whole like legit artist thing. And you know, I could be wrong. I mean, they could have like a whole nother profile, and they, this is just their alter ego. But just going on assumption that they are a newer artist to this, um, I think the vocals are like very raw and unplugged and like solid. Like again, this sounds like to me like an artist recording for the first time, and they're like learning the process. So I mean, like we don't really tend to dog on mixes too hard on the show because we want you guys to improve and have something to like take home to the lab and go back to retry. You know what I mean? Like we're not here to like, oh, this is bad, this is good, especially when it comes down to like something like a mix. You know what I mean? Because the mix is also preference as well. Because sometimes you could have a preference of like, I want this to have this live sound, I want this to have X, Y, or Z. So there's a couple of factors when it comes to a mix, right? But the vocals being as raw as they are, I think it gives it like a very interesting kind of feel to it, And I agree with Pez. Yeah, a little less reverb, definitely, and kind of take the approach of it being like an acoustic kind of version. It's very close to that, very very close to that. Um, so the vocal mix is solid for what it is. Again, vocal shining star. I would say the cadence and delivery, like the whole flowing cadence throughout the whole song was just like it was good vibes. You know what I mean? Like really, really good fucking vibes. Because we've reacted to all types of Spanish tracks, German tracks. We've reacted to so many different types of tracks, and this is one where again, you can just feel the good vibes in this track. And and like when it comes down to like the first track on a project, I think it's one of those like great openers for a project. Like it would definitely make somebody want to continue to listen to the project. Absolutely. I like how it almost went punk in the middle too. I completely agree. Definitely agree. Like you could see like the styles kind of blending together, and I thought that was fantastic. So um yeah, man, for me, probably flowing cadence and delivery. Like the overall delivery of this was just great. Like this is an artist who's heading into the right direction for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the guitar. Vocal solid, definitely the flowing cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics of their project is actually very fucking fire. Like I noticed when I went and looked at um their Spotify profile, a lot of their covers were very consistent. And I thought that was a really cool like thing to start off doing. Like they clearly like have a vision, on what they want their profile to look like, on what they want their aesthetics to be, like look at some of these covers. They're actually really fucking crazy. So that's where I was like, wow, this is actually like really really tippable. Like really really fucking tippable. So that's one thing I like noticed right off rip. So they definitely care and have like an aesthetic vision, if you will. And this is definitely one of them. You know, definitely one of them. And it's totally like worth it for the project as well. Like I totally feel like it's like a very like it feels like an EP. You know, so aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme. I mean, obviously we can only break down the theme so much when it comes down to this, but I do feel like it was definitely like a, you know, given the name Carousel, it did kind of have that summer feel to it. You know, it did kind of have that summer feel to it. So that's where I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely has like a good vibe, and like it being dropped in April and now it being July, the end of July actually, like this is definitely like a summer project. I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to go on a limb and say that, but well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Lucha Libra. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 120 followers on their Twitter. So go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there, man. So go show these artists on the channel some fucking love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. we appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Let's fucking go. So, all right, man. Let's continue on. We left off with the homie Lucha Libro, first time submitting artist as well. Super, super fucking cool. Up next, we have the homie Pez, aka Prod by Pez. Now, this is an artist we haven't heard from in quite some time here on the show. I'm pretty sure we've reacted to them in 2024, but it's been some months, man. It's been some months. So a very, very talented producer submitted a track titled "Why Do I Hear a Boss Music" by Pez. Well, shit. I'm down. I am down. Your dog crashed your PC. That is insane. That is actually an insane fucking cover. That's gold. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Why Do I Hear Boss Music by Pez. Let's go. Oh, shit. We're getting into it. Oh, the hats are crazy. Okay. Really hot start. Holy shit. Switch up is crazy. Wow. What? Holy shit. No way. What the fuck? What the fuck? Holy shit. Holy fuck, bro. Just switch back? What the fuck? Like, what? Okay, so this is what's fucking hilarious is before the song started, Pez said in chat, be critical as hell, dog, as if this wasn't fucking insane. Like, you might be able to make some critiques about this, but nah. Like, there's no real gripes with this. No fucking way. No fucking way. Alright, bro. Okay. Alright. We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. So, obviously no vocals, so we're gonna talk about two things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, I mean, What a journey. That felt like a journey. Like that didn't even like that felt like a 6 minute track, right? But it felt like almost a whole mix. Like I felt like we were in like three songs at once, and it was just you were like on a fucking journey, bro. It was just crazy. So let's talk mix first. Um, Not one gripe with the mix, not in any transition, not in any switch up. Melodies were great. Everything sat on top of each other nicely. Sound selection was great. I mean, no real gripes with this mix, like whatsoever. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that really like stuck out to me that was off. I mean, drums cut through everything nicely. Everything had its own space. Everything was nice and loud, crisp, clear. No real mud. Especially for a track as intense as this, you're mixing up a couple different styles. You have everything going in and out. Like it's a very like a particular thing to mix. Sometimes it can be real easy, and then sometimes it's just a bitch, you know. But this one in general, absolutely fantastic mix. No gripes whatsoever. Exactly where it needs to be. There, nah, like this is the mix for this song for sure. Um, the mix is fantastic. Instrumental Shining Star. I mean, look, drums are crazy throughout the whole song, right? Like even at the start of the track, it's kind of nuts. Like the first 4 seconds play, and you don't think you're about to head into what you're about to head into, because then it goes into like this dark trap, cyber trap kind of style, and then we get more and more fast paced. Dark pop. You start going into like trance pop, and it feels very like fast paced, and then it switches back, and it has this like insane blend of styles, right? So this is kind of how we ended up with like a almost 7 minute track, but it works for an instrumental. It absolutely works for an instrumental. This is why this matters. So I could say drums. A lot of the melodies complemented the fuck out of each other. Like there was a couple counter melodies that came in like 2-3 minutes in that are just like super noticeable. There's a lot of small things that you could really point out that are fantastic. But I think if you were really to nail down one thing here, I would say the structure. Like the way you structure out a 6+ minute track is fucking important. You know what I mean? Like the way you structure this shit out has got to be on point. You know what I mean? Especially for like any kind of listener. You know what I mean? Like on my first listen, I didn't feel like that dragged on. I didn't feel like it was repetitive. I didn't feel like it was doing too much. Like you could have ended the song 3 minutes ago, kind of thing. Like I felt like this had a story because we went from A to B to C back to A, and it was like holy shit. Like the way this kept like transitioning is just something that it really complemented the song. It really, really complemented the song. So for me, it's got to be structure for sure. A lot of the small stuff is really great too. Like I said, a lot of the melodies, a lot of the sound selection's great. But it really comes down to the structure, and it just made every part of this song very enjoyable, very enjoyable. Structure is something people don't put focus to. Nobody wants to sit with a repetitive song, right? Especially being a producer, right? Like producers that don't, really focus on type beats and like selling beats and shit like that. Producers who tend to like focus on their own library and want to put out tracks for themselves, um, really should focus on that a little bit. And then like if you're gonna make it like a little bit repetitive, keep it to 2 minutes, keep it to 3 minutes. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna go the length of like anything more than like 4 minutes, especially an instrumental, spice up the structure a bit. You don't even have to go as crazy as Pez, right? Because they did full blown like style switches, but you could like make your structure a little bit more fancy as to where it's always transitioning in, it's transitioning out. It's kind of bringing a constant flavor switch. I think that's super important for instrumentals, even for regular songs, of course, but for instrumentals, it's super important. And like again, this felt like three songs in one. Like I've seen some EPs that are like 8 minutes long. You know what I mean? Like this one song is 7, so it's like you really got to let that speak for itself, and really try to like put enough variety in as to where it's not too repetitive, but you don't want to go too crazy because then you start getting into like experimental shit and you're switching up too much and there's no consistency. So you want to switch it up but be consistent. you know, and this felt very consistent, especially at the end, as to where like we ended where we started, kind of thing. You know, it felt like an outro. So like there was a lot of like obvious things here that just made this like really like top tier, like really really top tier. But for me, it's got to be the structure. It would make me come back to a track like this, especially if you're like super into these kinds of styles. This is one that you definitely would just instantly come back to for sure. Um, so yeah, instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Let's talk theme aesthetics. I mean, this is definitely for those of you that are producers or engineers or any type of artist. This is definitely one of those instrumentals that can and will crash your PC or at least crash your DAW. You know what I mean? And then your DAW crashes your PC, you get it blue screen of death, and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So, great cover. You know, like instantly like knew the image kind of thing, but it's also still a little bit like personal. But I like the aesthetic choice, especially for this kind of track. Definitely. I mean, overall theme. Why do I hear boss music? I mean, not wrong. You know, like a very like straight up title that like actually holds its weight. You know, like you could title a lot of songs that, and it might not be boss music, right? But this one definitely holds its weight and delivers for sure. So I could tell that this is a fun song for somebody like any producer to do, really. But you could just tell that Pez put a little like spice behind this one, 100%. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Pez. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow Pez on Bandcamp. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 350, man. They are 1 away. Or 360, they're 11 away. So go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Monday's YouTube channel. We upload 2 times a week. We are closing in on 290 subscribers. We upload every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazzes over there, man. So go show these artists in the channel some fucking love. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Album soon. Let's fucking get it. We are down. We definitely want to hear that over at Music Mondays. That's for sure. Appreciate your submission, my friend. Let's fucking get it, baby. So, let's see here. So we're about halfway through the show, so you guys know the drill, man. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're going to dive right back into our community submissions and see what else the night has in store for us. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you grab a snack, grab a drink, go do whatever you need to do. And the Music Mondays podcast episode 184 will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays Podcast, episode 184. I'm your host, Tom Slays. Welcome on in, man. We're going to dive right back into our community submissions. So, we left off with the homie Pez, an excellent fucking track. That was actually fucking insane. Let's see here. Up next, we got the homie on Wuka, a very, very, very talented hip-hop vocalist, submitted a new lyric video, actually. What Up made this lyric video for Big Bad Boss from AP The Grand Chieftain. This is from 2020. Oh, okay, so we got a little older track here. One of the first tracks to utilize a bunch of references, try to do bosses from games, comics, anime, and more. Okay. So we got a little theme going on here, too. Alright, I'm down. We got a lyric video for a little bit of an older track. But that's okay, because down. First lyric video I've done completely by myself. Here's the Big Bad Chieftain. Try to compare myself to. Okay, so alright. A dope track with it. We got some love in the comments. Okay. Alright, let's get into it. Big Bad Boss lyric video on Wuka. Let's go.
There are some journeys they tell you to not give up in your quest. But when it comes to going against someone like me, I'm a big bad boss, so do not try to flex. I'm the bigger, better boss, like I'm a Sephiroth. That's why you all mad, dog. Let me guess your lows. I give it a damn spark when a man talk, they said it off. That's why I'm spotted like I'm rocking the leopard's gloves. Mine is a sandbox mixed with some thoughts. So tell you the truth, that Wook shoot your pilot better off. Now deal with a big, better boss, like I'm a Sephiroth. The solar's chill of the code, like I'm straight and just in a roast. I'm the bigger, better boss, like I'm Sephiroth. See me chill on the side of the street like a beggar's bros. They vibe to me fresh, just moving at light speed, and y'all are looking all old and weathered over. I mean the gold coins up like Wario. Since they tell me to chat the talks, having a car with over. Now the Zeldas and Peaches wanna know how smothered my pieces, but also wanna get faded like some letters and choke. Watch out for the spells, my spit untelling leashes, but back to the Zeldas and Peaches need a darker than twin cell with a hair swinging like leashes while I'm rocking around like a king, as if I was copping Chris Webber's soul.
Oh shit.
Got you waiting for me to drop like movie teasers. How I spin tails and mix them with acidic fluids like I was creating a thesis. Make a banging explosion from some clever thoughts. You know I hold it down like how hey leather stoves. I'm the bigger, better boss, like I'm a Sephiroth. That's why you all mad, dog. Let me guess your lows. I give it a damn spark when a man talk, they said it off. That's why I'm spotted like I'm rocking the leopard's glow. Mine is a sandbox mixed with some thoughts. So tell you the truth, that Wook shoot your pilot better off. Now deal with a big, better boss, like I'm a Sephiroth. The solar's chill of the code, like I'm straight and just in the roast. I'm going harder than Dark Souls or Bloodborne. They say a dark source is the spot my blood's born. But partner angels angle themselves my body to suck horn. Sorry bro, but you leave them drier than a dust storm. Now let me get down to business like a rushed pawn. That means that I gotta bust more. I bust more than a Timberwolves pick. I bust more than the dick of a prick. Ass if a nude pics until his nuts sore. I'm mad or wordy, writing create like I'm Jack Kirby. I'll take you on the dark side if you're trying to discuss a law. My writing's a tad dirty, but stay clean like a crime king. Call me a lyrical drug lord. Your tongue is about as sharp as a blunt sword, the cuss pour. I'm top tier with the bigger, badder boss. Yeah, see me peeling green off the top like I was trying to shut quarantine. You flee in the scene when you heard my trunk roar. Rhymes of money so I can bet the coast. My soul is cold but my below stay a desert hoe. I'm jamming like Ganon, throw like balls from a cannon. All my raps is straight cannon. Yours are lies like lines you get from coast. This nemesis, true genesis, comes from an evil residence. My mind is wrapped with death so dark, and that's not even the messy part. Don't get to glow, so lyrically I'm fetch your closet, send it to your final resting spot. Get paid to be the big bad boss like I'm Josh Brolin. Heat stays in my blow, even though the frost in my soul is overblowing to a point where I'm iced out like the Night King chilling outside when it's snowing. You've got no chance, dog, when it comes to me and blowing. I'm blowing like the live stream, so when the Sephiroth gets a slicing and leaves your body open, no matter cost will be reviving. So just enjoy this moment, it's over. Cause after that, you know where you go when they detest my walk. I'm arriving like a ghetto grim reaper in my black cloak. Then I bang you with the heat and leave it on you till it ends up with corrosion. Now with all I've said, just sum it up and close in. If you're smart, please don't try to follow me. Cause if you engage, I'll put my pen on the pad and you end up gone like I'm alive. Yagami. I'm the bigger, better boss, like I'm a Sephiroth. That's why you all mad, dog. Let me guess your lows. I give it a damn spark when a man talk, they said it off. That's why I'm spotted like I'm rocking the leopard's glow. Mine is a sandbox mixed with some thoughts. So tell you the truth, that Wook shoot your pilot better off. Now deal with a big, better boss, like I'm a Sephiroth. The solar's chill of the code, like I'm straight and just in roast. Like Like I previously stated to you earlier, I'm the big bad boss, and there are levels of this. I'll straight turn your game off. Might need to hit up your older brother to try and help you beat me.
Oh,
when it comes
shit.
to a lead Nigerian G like me, it's not gonna help.
Oh
'Cause I'm the
shit.
Grand Chieftain. Onwuka.
Oh shit. See, that was a fire fucking outro. See, that was great. I kind of expected this like well-constructed kind of theme here. You know, I really did. I really kind of expected it. So I can't sit here and say I'm shocked that the theme is super nailed down. Like super fucking nailed down. So, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we are going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme. Or no, actually, scratch that. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the Big Bad Boss lyric video, because that's very important. So, um, okay, let's talk instrumental. So it's a very interesting kind of instrumental. It does feel like boss battle-ish for sure, but it does have that like traditional hip hop style as well. So I do like the choice for this kind of theme. I definitely feel like this matches a lot, definitely. Onwuka definitely had a vision here, and I feel like it was definitely executed properly for sure. Um so instrumental choice definitely on points. Instrumental mix. Um Really solid, to be honest with you. Thinking back on it, nothing that I would really change or anything that's like super crazy. Mm, yeah, nothing that's like ultimately throwing me off when it comes to the instrumental mix. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Sound selection's good. It does have that like theatrical boss battle kind of feel to it, which I totally think just makes this 10 times more interesting, you know? Just because it really does have that feel to it, you know? So instrumental mix definitely solid. No gripes here, nothing clashing, or nothing like that. Instrumental shining star. I mean, drums are up there, but mm, hmm. You know, probably the melody. I feel like the melody is like where it's giving this like very like boss like theatrical kind of it has this like very interesting kind of flavor to it. So yeah, definitely the melody. The melody just has so much like person for sure. Um so instrumental solid, let's talk vocals. You know, this is a track from 2020, but I don't think there's that much of a dip in quality at all, right? I mean, like usually some people, you know, depending on how long, you know, you've developing your style and things like that, like 4 years ago could mean like a whole different style of you as an artist, right? It could talk about progression and all types of shit. But for Onwuka, I definitely wouldn't say that there's like a super major difference. I mean, if anything, like it's just improved quality wise, you know what I mean? But for something that came out in 2020, I would say the audio is fantastic. I mean, nothing clashing too overbearing, nothing that really like stuck out to me as like super crazy. I mean, like I would say, Onwuka is like one of these artists that has a very solid natural voice. So that's something you want to exploit in songs, right? And really take advantage of, you know, as best you can. And I definitely think Onwuka is one of those artists, you know. So they have a clear, clean, crisp, solid mix, to be honest. So nothing that I would change with the vocal mix, obviously, especially for it being in 2020, right? So um kind of an insane like, you know, consistency there. Like really consistent. So vocal mix, very solid. Um hmm. Vocal shining star. Flow and cadence was up there. Um, but honestly, the hook was too. The hook was great because it was a very like recognizable style of hook. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it was one of those hooks that's like very um you kind of know what you're about to get into. You know what I mean? Like it's very like you get it kind of feel. Um So yeah. Probably I don't know. I'm kind of torn between the hook though. The hook and writing. I feel like are really up there for me. Um Writing was definitely up there though. I mean, the writing was so descriptive. That's the thing. There's a lot of fun punchlines too. But the hook is very memorable. Um, probably writing overall. Just because it shows Onwuka's like real writing talent of like just being able to write about almost anything. It can really break down any topic, no matter how complex or simple. Um, this is definitely an artist who knows how to just write about a theme. And again, this being from 2020, it just goes to show that it's like, okay, like they've been known how to do this. You know what I mean? They've been on that kind of like writing style for quite a while. So that's what's really sick about this. So yeah, definitely writing to me. Definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk about the lyric video. So the lyric video actually has a very big like a boss battle kind of feel to it as well. And this being Onwuka's like first self-edited music video, this came out really fucking solid. Really, really solid. Like the only major difference is like the style of text, but the text is still very much there. I would say the visuals play like a bigger part now. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like it's still getting the job done and it has that like Onwuka kind of flavor to it. Um but you could tell the visuals kind of made like a really big impact here. Like I like the choice of clips, I like the choice of visuals, I like the order of visuals, right? And how it's like um organized and transitioning. And then like the outro. Outro is like probably one of the coolest parts about this is like the game over section. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of thought that was put into this that I think is like really fucking sick. So for me, I would say probably the visuals are the shining star here, but the lyrics like they really kind of like they push they push the bar in like a different direction, which I think is great. Because now Onwuka has the ability to kind of like execute their vision in a different way. Especially with like full creative control. But a lot of thought went into this one, and like the intro and outro is very solid. A lot of post processing solid, but I feel like the clips and visuals here are like really top notch. Like the choices here, like it feels a boss battle ish. Especially with like the video game clips. Like this one's crazy. The city one's crazy. There was another one here that was like really interesting. This one right here, one felt like the road to a boss battle kind of feel. So there's a couple things here that was like really fucking well thought out. So, well done, my friend. Well done, because this was great. Huge shout out to Onwuka. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Make sure you go sub to their channel. They are 6 subs away from 60, so go show them some love over there on YouTube. And of course, make sure you follow Onwuka on Twitter. They are approaching 770 followers. They are 6 away. Go show them some love with the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked of YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers, actually. We're about 8 away. So make sure you go show the channel and our love. We upload 2 times a week, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there, man. So go show these artists on the channel. Fucking love, baby. Let's get it. All right. I'm going to grab my water, and then we are going to continue. So, well done to Onwuka, though. Definitely. Right. Water has been acquired. Alrighty, my friends. Up next, let's see. Let's see who we're getting into next. All right. So, up next is the homie Offspring Furious. who's been going absolutely crazy with their edits lately for A Walking Onslaughts, man. A multi-talented artist, writer, producer, designer, editor, you name it. Offspring Mysterious is back with another upload, and they submitted Corrupted Onrush. Okay. Pop this open a new tab, see what we got here. I'm down. Full volume. What an amazing starting shot. What the fuck? Alright, let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious, Corrupted Onrush. Let's go. Wow. Like actually like a visual. Switch back is cool. It is crazy. Oh shit. Fire. Just a great concept.
Oh, yeah. I'm just scratching the surface.
Just scratching the surface. Okay, so this might be one of the better ones. Might be the best in this style. It has this like visual style to it. This is my friend doesn't have been the same. He's the only friend that doesn't have a monster. Okay, so we got a great description here for sure. So it definitely feels like an internal struggle kind of deal, 100%. It definitely felt like that kind of style of visual. And I think this whole intro here was absolutely fantastic. Like the first like 2 minutes of this is actually fucking insane. Like it's definitely up there for me. Like it's definitely up there. It felt like a visual for two instrumentals. Like I can't even believe Offspring is like really going in this direction and like actually nailing it. This is from July 25th, so still relatively new. I just love the concept of this, especially like the whole black and white deal, and it did give off that like internal struggle kind of feel to it, you know what I mean? Like it really and almost like the horror movie kind of feel to it as well, you know? So there's a couple things here that like really like separated it, you know, and really like it's taking Offspring to like a whole new level. It's very interesting to see. Concept is definitely up there, but I would say Shining Star here has got to be the post processing. I mean, the post processing with some of these black and white effects and the transitions and the whole concept of it, like actually coming together, is really well done. So, Shining Star is definitely the post processing for sure. These types of visuals are super cool because, again, they do double up as visuals, but now it's still walking Onslaught's lore as well. So, really well done, my friend. Really fucking well done. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring Series. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go sub to Offspring's channel. They are 6 subs away from 230. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 910. So, show them some love on the bird app, my friends. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers. We have times a week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there. Channel. So, per usual, huge shout out to everybody that already has submitted and liked and subscribed to the channel. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you. So, let's continue on, man. Let's see what we got here. So, left off with the homie Offspring Mysterious. Up next is Bowtied Piano Man. It's been a couple weeks since we heard from the homie, man, but a very, very talented alternative artist submitted a Nocturne for a Sensitive Young Man. The newest piece, a Nocturne I wrote reflecting the arrival of my twin girls. Wondering what the Lou from 15 years ago would think about how everything turned out. Hope it treats you well. Wow. Okay, so that's pretty loaded, actually. A Nocturne I wrote reflecting the arrival of my twin girls. Wonder what Lou 15 years ago would think about how everything turned out. That's pretty crazy. It's actually really crazy. I love that concept. All right. Let's get into it. Lou Scott Keys, aka Bowtied Piano Man. Nocturne for a Sensitive Young Man. Let's get into it. Full volume. Let's go 720. Let's go. Absolutely peaceful. Wow. This is great. Well done. Absolutely well done. Such like a peaceful vibe every time from Lou Scott Keys. Such a peace. It's just it's unmatched. Really unmatched. Um, well done. Well done. So let's refer back to the caption before we break this down. My newest piece, a nocturne I wrote reflecting the arrival of my twin girls, wondering what the Louvre 15 years ago would think about how everything out. So it definitely does have that like throwback, like looking back on the past kind of feel to it, especially with the cover. So a couple things to break down here, and we'll talk about it. We are going to talk about three things, or no, we're going to talk about two things here because obviously no vocals. We're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Nocturne for a Sensitive Man. All right, let's talk instrumental. So, a very bare bones instrumental, but there's a lot to unpack. Really well constructed. There's a lot of great melodies in. But let's talk about the mix first. The mix is fantastic. This is a very crisp, clean, clear kind of piano mix. Um, exactly how you want this kind of track to sound, right? Especially it being kind of like a solo ballad. It has one of these like your mix just needs to be firm rather than flashy, right? And I think that was definitely accomplished here. It definitely gave that peaceful but like firm, loud enough kind of vibe, right? But it really let the melodies do the talking. So the mix is definitely on point for sure. Um, instrumental Shining Star. I mean, some of the melodies were great, right? But I think a very underrated aspect of this is actually the structure. I think the structure here is really fucking underrated. I think it's super, super important to like have a great structure, like we spoke about earlier in the show, with certain tracks, right? Especially instrumentals, and that's exactly what we got here with Keys. So the structure is absolutely shining star, no question, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics are very much on point according to the caption as well, right? Like looking up at the stars, kind of like on the balcony kind of feel. Like it definitely like pushes that like looking towards the future but thinking about the past kind of feel. So aesthetics are absolutely on point, no doubt. Overall theme, I mean, is pretty much laid out in the caption for us. A nocturne I wrote reflecting the arrival of my girls, wondering where the Lou from 15 years ago would think about how everything turned out. So yeah, it does have that feel to it, man. It does have that like redemption kind of like insane feel to it. Like it really does have that futuristic, modern, looking back on the past kind of feel. 100%. I think Lou Scott Keys it when it comes down to like putting that feeling into. No doubt. Well done, my friend. Absolutely well done. With that said, huge shout out to Lou Scott Keys. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go sub to Lou Scott Keys' channel on DistroKid Topic. They are 3 subs away from 10, so go show them some love over there on YouTube. And of course, make sure you follow Bowtied Man on Twitter. They are 3 followers away from 360, so make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers on Music Mondays channel. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. So, let's see here. We left off with the homie Lou Scott Keys. Of course, though, up next would be the homie Jordan, but homie Jordan is actually a Music Mondays Patreon, and we've already reacted to their track earlier in the show. So make sure you go show them some love, man. And huge shout out to Jordan for being a Music Mondays Patreon. You're fucking amazing. So, all right. Up next, we got the homie Ozzy Bug, an artist who's been absolutely killing it this year. They've not only improved in quality and sound and consistency, but they've been dropping a shit ton of content, right? Singles, projects, collabs, visuals, music videos, a whole lot of good jazz. So I'm definitely excited to see what we got. A very, very talented vocalist, Ozzy Bug, sent a new music video for Rainbow Road. I'm definitely down. Let's see what we got. All right, pop it open a new tab. Hold on, we'll give this a quick pause, Rooney. Go 720. Full volume. W credits. Lots of love in the comments, as usual, to be expected. All right, let's get into it. I'm down. Ozzy Bug, Rainbow Road, official music. Oh shit. The clips are crazy. Okay. Huh. The summer vibes are crazy here. Like, really crazy summer vibes.
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it.
Got it, huh?
Okay. So, much to discuss here. This was crazy. just the summer vibes is something that I feel like is very like heavy in this. This is like the perfect kind of video to drop in the middle of the summer. Like the summer vibes are very real here. So much to discuss. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the official music video for Rainbow Road. So, hmm. So the instrumental is like a really solid choice for Ozzy. I definitely feel like this is very much their style, not anything out of their element. Kind of has that like fast paced, like all pop sound, a little bit of dance vibes, a little bit of like electronic vibes. It kind of fits like that whole mold. A little bit of everything. So I feel like the choice was there. Um, Instrumental mix. Um, Really great thinking back on it. Like nothing was really out of place. Nothing that really like stuck out to me that was off. Nothing really clashing, too overbearing. Sound selection was solid. Drums were solid. Melody really took over here. Nothing that really like was really insane to me. Mm, yeah, I feel like it was perfect. I mean, that's not really a shocker, right? I mean, one of those things where I feel like Ozzy has a pretty consistent mix at this point. So not really a shocker, but again, something you always want to point out for anybody new. Um, yeah. So instrumental mix definitely right where it needs to be. Definitely no gripes there. Instrumental shining star. Hmm. I really like the drums, but I mean it's kind of hard to not say the melody. Like the melody definitely plays a massive part in this like summer vibe kind of feel that you get from this, other than the music video itself, right? So got to be the melody. I mean, it's kind of the obvious choice here. Got to be the melody for sure. I mean, drums are definitely up there, structures up there, but for me, it definitely is the melody. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is actually like really tight on this one. Like I feel like it's in a really good place when it comes to this like more like pitched electronic vibe. Like I feel like this is like the perfect medium right here because it's not like going overboard, but it's like hitting that perfect sweet spot, especially with an instrumental like this. So I like this mix a lot. Like I feel like this is a strong area to kind of be in with this kind of style. Like there's a couple artists I can think of that have really like got this style down pat, and this is one of the more like crispier kind of feel. So I'm big on this vocal mix, to be honest with you. Um, Nothing really crazy that stuck out to me. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice. Nothing's really like getting in the way of each other. Everything kind of has its own space. Vocals are chilling, like aside from the instrumental, it feels complete. So nothing that I would really ultimately change with this either. I would say the mix overall is really great. So vocal mix definitely up there for sure. Very solid. Let's talk vocal shining star. Um, hmm. Mm, you know, I would say writing overall, right? But I mean, like, the hook is really great. Like, the hook is really something here. I feel like the hook is something that would stick with you on the first listen. You know what I mean? That's like the first thing that comes to mind. So maybe it is the hook. Maybe you know, I mean, you can make it like an argument for writing as well. Um, so yeah, quite possibly the hook. To be honest with you, writing's definitely there, but I feel like the hook is what's gonna make people kind of come back and like again kind of brings that more like positive summer vibe to this. That's the other thing I saw, so yeah, let's go with the hook. Definitely the hook. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk about the video. So this is a really like this is almost like such a great summer montage esque kind of feel, right? So shot and edited by Lil Wet Wet, produced by Lil Wet Wet actually, and directed by Lil Wet Wet. Ozzy. So this is very interesting. You could tell that there was very much a patterns kind of touch to this, right? But also at the same time, I feel like the vision for it was great because it has this like kind of like Y2K esque kind of vibe, like early 2000s vacation kind of feel to it as well. There's a couple things here that really stand out to me, but I feel like the shining star has got to be like the locations, right? But also like the vision. Like I feel like the vision is really here too. Like you had to like really see this in a certain way to kind of make this come to life, especially like a lot of like the car shots and the driving. I feel like that had to be like really well thought out, and you just kind of have to see it. And then like the beach clips are cool in particular because it wasn't exactly sunny out. So that's one thing that kind of like stood out as well as it was like kind of like a gray day. So it like this was like real summer. You know what I mean? Like this is what summer can be on certain days. The sun wasn't exactly out, but it made for a lot of really sick shots. That's what I really like about this. I mean, I would say the post processing and the editing itself is really fantastic, but I also really like the shots. Like as far as like location, like the location is like perfect. Like it's really really perfect. So and like the summer vibes is really like the message here. Like it felt like a summer track, no doubt. So I mean, editing's up there too, but I feel like the location choices were really great, man. Yeah, I feel like the Shining Star is definitely the location. Like it was just really well put together. Then obviously like the editing is like other major half of this, right? So very important, but um overall really well done, really really well done. Like probably like one of the better music videos for the summer that we've seen here on the show, no doubt. So well done, my friends. Well done. Make sure you go show some love to Ozzy Bug, and thank you so much for your submission. They are 10 subs away from 110. They're on 100 even, so make sure you go show them some love on YouTube. And of course, make sure you follow Ozzy on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 250, so go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And huge shout out to everybody that already has. I see you guys dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz. So huge shout out to all you guys, man. Fucking get it. Tyler, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on Happy Monday. Hell yeah, brother. Music Monday. I made it in. Let's fucking go. We are live. Let's get it. So we left off with the homie Ozzy. Up next is the homie Black Cash. So it's been some weeks. Definitely been some weeks since we heard from the homie Black Cash, but a very very talented hip hop artist submitted a track titled "On the Way." Lost Live Music presents "On the Way" by Black Cash, produced by Hot Rounds. Okay, I'm down. Let's get into it. Here's a quick pause. Full volume. 720. It's only a year old, so still relatively new, but not super old either. So let's get into it. Black Cash, all the way. All in the way.
Hey, excuse me a little bit. Hey.
I already know it's gonna be crazy.
Garbage ass. What the fuck are y'all doing, man? Excuse me, let me get. Y'all niggas all in the way.
Holy shit.
Y'all niggas all in the way. Y'all niggas all in the way. Move the fuck out my way, bitch. 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 Ain't talking about shit in your raps. Yeah, they heard the shit once, but they ain't spinning it back. Bars all cap, fantasies on the track, nigga. Hold this L, you ain't winning with that.
Oh my god.
Crack. I got a cold ass flow, grab a sweater and cap. When I hear these niggas rap, I start taking a nap. That is no exaggerating, I'm just sticking the fact. Call me Big Dookie Black, cause I'm shitting on these niggas. Wipe my ass with your music. I don't need no toilet tissue. If you think you won't smoke, nigga, come and get your issue. Got that asthma pump, pocket rocket in a missile. Red beam to make sure I don't miss you. You gone, ain't nobody gonna miss you. Take your trash ass flow and subliminal bars with you. I just crop them out the frame and I ain't gotta take a picture. Humble yourself, you are not that high. Pipe down, you are not that fly. Vision ain't clear. You
oh my god.
Stop acting all tough, you are not that guy.
Oh my god.
Fuck with me, salute. Y'all know I be spitting the truth. Break my foot off in the weak ass rapper in a minute. Come and stomp a nigga out, let me lace up my boots. Y'all niggas all in the way.
Holy shit.
Y'all niggas all in the way.
Writing was nuts here.
Move the fuck out my way, bitch. 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 Like work and I barely broke a sweat. Y'all be lying to the fans, so you get no respect. Well, Caesar, you can call me a vet. I can walk between the raindrops and not get wet. If it beef, well then pass me the broccoli. Your boss got no structure, your flow is just sloppy. Y'all trying to sing y'all some flows of a copy. I don't see the reason why most of you cocky. Hip hop dead and y'all the ones that killed it. Tap in, let your ears hit this real shit. Paraplegic with no hands, you gotta feel this. My flow cutthroat and that's nothing you can deal with. I beat up these foozies like Desi. Bully on the track, get these rappers a
Flow is crazy, man.
I ain't even concerned. Fuck all these nerds, give them Indian burns. Soft ass emo rappers be acting girly. Open the toilet and get these niggas a swirly.
Oh, shit.
Shit on lock. I never let these outsiders violate our block.
Oh, fuck.
I roll up and smoke you like cannabis. That auto-tune can't fix it up. Stay the fuck out the booth cause your music suck. Whole lot of bluffing and internet texting. Dropping addresses and pictures with weapons. Catching charge for the clout. Shit is lame once you figure it out. My brothers, we stepping like Q's ain't no cappers. I push them aside when they come to these rappers. The nerve of these niggas ain't even the same. Garbage ass rappers, they fuck up the game. Y'all niggas all in the way.
Holy
Y'all niggas
shit.
all in the way. Y'all niggas all in the way. Y'all niggas all in the way. Move the fuck out my way, bitch. 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 Y'all niggas all in the way. Yeah, I had to
Oh,
back up
man.
one, bitch. Y'all niggas all due to the shit I have been hearing. All in the way. Salute to my nigga Kid Cosmo. Move the fuck out my way, bitch. Move the fuck out my way, bitch. I'm back in this bitch, nigga. Move the fuck out my way, bitch. New music on the way.
Holy shit. That was nuts. Okay. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Holy shit. Alright, we gotta break this down. Much to discuss here. This was crazy. Really has that like OG trap feel to it. Like real trap, like early trap. Like it has such a good flavor, man. Alright, couple things to talk about, couple things to kind of break down. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, and we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of All in the Way. A very much obvious theme here, if you couldn't tell, but we're definitely gonna break it down for you, for sure. So, let's talk instrumental. First of all, I love the choice, right? I think this choice here is actually fucking nuts. Like, it just has this like modern / OG, trap feel to it, and I feel like this was just a fantastic choice, like a really fucking fantastic choice. But the mix on it was just stellar, like crisp, clean, clear, no gripes with the mix whatsoever. The drums in particular are fantastic. Sound selection's fantastic. Nothing I would really ultimately change about this at all, especially when it comes to the instrumental. Definitely not. Definitely not. So instrumental mix, definitely very solid. Let's talk instrumental Shining Star. No doubt it's the drums. There's no question it is the drums. Just not even a question, for sure. Sound selection, the patterns, the 808 in specific was just fucking great. Melody's a close second for sure, but the drums, man. Absolutely drums. So instrumental solid, definitely drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic. Black Cash has always had a really solid vocal mix from pretty much everything we've reacted to here on the show. So not really a shocker, but something I always want to point out for anybody new. They have a very consistent mix, and this one is all the same, especially for only a year ago. Crisp, clean, clear. Not too much post-processing. Yeah, definitely no gripes with the vocal mix whatsoever. Definitely not. Vocal Shining Star. The hook is catchy and it's liable to get stuck in your head for sure. But writing here is insane. The amount of like punchlines, like lyrical ideas, like there's a lot of crazy shit mixed up in this writing. So for me, writing 100% clears. Hook is up there, but the writing and the flow, cadence, and delivery too. But writing absolutely clears, man. A Black Cash is quite the writer for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Definitely has that like move out the way Black Air Force kind of energy. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, like it doesn't get any better than this. I like the fonts too. The font on the top. And again, like even the cover, like really reminds me of like OG like 2010 maybe even earlier, like kind of trap shit, right? Like really like old school kind of, not even old school, like it was just like very different back then, and now it's like modernized. This is like refreshing, you know what I mean? This is like what trap sounds in um like a modern kind of sound, you know, and even like real like raw aggressive hip hop, like this is what it sounds like, you know what I mean? So the cover is definitely all the same for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme of All in the Way. I mean, realistically, like an open diss to pretty much any artist out there who doesn't take themselves seriously or is fucking up or is quite literally in the way. You know what I mean? I think Black Ash definitely made a very obvious statement here, you know, but they really doubled down on it and really explained why, right, in their writing, and they also made the writing exactly stick. Like it was great. Like I feel like Black Cash really nailed this as far as like the theme goes. You know what I mean? Like went above and beyond for this. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Black Cash. Thank you so much for the submission. Black Cash is 3 subs now because Music Mondays just subscribed. So make sure you fucking go show Black Cash some love on the fucking YouTube, eh? God damn it. They're 3 subs now away from 190. So go show them some love on YouTube. And of course, make sure you follow Black Cash on Twitter. They are approaching 2.7K on the Bird app. So make sure you go show them some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 290 subscribers. We upload it 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there, man. You guys don't motherfucking drill. But, huge shout out to everybody that already has subscribed. You guys are awesome. But with that said, that does it for tonight's submissions for episode 184 of the Music Mondays podcast. Let's give some shout outs. Let's talk about what's coming during the week. Let's say some good vibes and let's fucking get into it. So, with that said, a huge shout out to everybody that tuned in and showed love tonight on tonight's show, man. You guys are fucking beautiful and fantastic. Huge shout out to I Hate Wolf, Pez, and Tyler, and anybody else that lurked and chilled and came through and stopped by. You're fucking amazing. Thank you for showing some love to the show and just supporting, man. I think we peaked at like 9 tonight, so it's just fucking fantastic for a Monday night. So really, really, really fucking solid for sure. 100%. So, huge shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see here. Let's give some shout outs to everybody that did submit tonight. Let's go show them some love as well. Huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons. Jordan, Kruger, King Mark, Blank Dot, Ryuki, and of course, even if you're just following the Music Mondays Patreon and Dry My Eyes as well, you guys are fucking amazing. Thank you for showing love to the Patreon. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight as well from the community. Huge shout out to Sam's Raps, Johnny Smoke, Lucha Libro, Prez, Onwuka, Offspring Mysterious, Lou Scott Keys, Jordan, Ozzy, Black Cash, Industrial One, I Happy, Private Paul, Mojave Gray, Braden, Absono, Alan K, and everybody else that does not follow Music Mondays because you are crazy. So make sure you're following Music Mondays before you do submit to the show. That's very, very important. But huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight. You guys are fucking amazing. So a lot of July catching up for the Music Mondays podcast, man. A lot of catching up in Music Mondays in general, realistically. So expect a lot of playlist updates this week. A lot of new SoundCloud drops. We're going to be organizing Cyberfest 2 and a whole lot of other jazz when it comes to major events heading into August and September. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled and all that good jazz. Make sure you follow Music Mondays on all socials at All Music Mondays. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, literally everywhere. Wherever you use social media, make sure you follow Music Mondays on your favorite platform. And of course, make sure you listen to Music Mondays podcast episodes on anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. We have literally every episode uploaded on all platforms, including our YouTube. And make sure you go show their show some fucking love because it's full of gems, man. And of course, submissions will be live for episode 185 tomorrow. So if you're watching the show live or you're watching the VOD back, submissions will be live tomorrow, July 30th. And if you're watching this on Spotify or YouTube or anywhere else, submissions are already live. So make sure you check the date, drop your links below the tweet. But like I said, and with that said, huge shout out to everybody that submitted, tuned in tonight, and showed love. All you guys are fucking amazing. We'll be tweeting out the top 3 artists from tonight's episode in a bit. And like I said, make sure you follow, subscribe below, everything linked below, all the socials, all the good stuff's linked down below for me. Of course, make sure you follow Music Mondays, like I said. We're live like 5-6 days a week, man. So make sure you stop by the channel, come through, kick it, chat, shoot the shit. We'll be getting back into some speedrunning here on the channel relatively soon. So lots of stuff going down here on the Zombslade channel. But we'll see you guys next week for episode 185 of the Music Mondays podcast. I love you all. Be safe, stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. Music Mondays, episode 185. Let's fucking get it.